So I wanted to make kind of like a checkpoint type video on my account's progression, to show you guys like, everything we've accomplished and what we're going to be doing for 2023. I'm really proud of what we've done since the Destiny patch. We've been playing for about like 7 months now, and we've gotten a lot of stuff done. I set a lot of goals for myself, and I'm happy to say that we actually accomplished pretty much all of them. Yeah, so I just wanted to go over everything on my account and, talk about where we're going from here. I feel like this is a good time because a lot of the events are ending. Like Ignition is ending. We're getting a new patch tomorrow. It's finally kind of like a new era because we've been in Ignition for stuff like that for like 3 months, and man, all the dailies the past few months have been crazy. Like just so much to do. And since it's all wrapping up and I've hit all of my goals, I wanted to share what my goals are moving forward and what we're going to be up to. So we'll start with my Shadower. My Shadower is 275 now, and we'll go over the gear and stuff real quick and what else I could be doing on my Shadower basically. Obviously Shadower is my main. I also main Nightwalker now, but we'll talk about that later. I think my Shadower is in a really good spot. I was going over my gear yesterday and I don't really have anything that's like easy gains left. Everything going from here is pretty min-max and is really tough to get, and it's going to require a ton of time in mesos, but eventually we'll get it done. But for now, long story short, my Shadow, I don't plan to make any more upgrades on this besides pitch the boss if we get any drops. Obviously I'll level up, to 280 285, but not right now. I plan to level once I'm able to be once I have enough Sacred Force to train in Odium, because 275 plus in Odium, like if you're able to actually do damage here, is so fast. So I'm willing to wait. Right now I'm only at 130 Sacred Power, but yeah, I'm willing to wait. I'm in no rush to level up or anything. I'm not doing Kalos or anything like that. So yeah, I'm willing to wait. I'm Sacred Force gated anyways. The two big gains that I can make on my Shadower at the moment are getting a weapon jump. I only really have Roar that's usable, and liberating my weapon. I get my liberated weapon on March 1st, so that's coming up really soon. And yeah, that should be fun. Hopefully we hit on it, because the lib weapon will definitely give us a ton of damage. Okay, but we'll go over the gear real quick. Start with my totem. I did hit on my totem. 63 luck, 3 attack, 5 all stat, so that's about a 122 flame score, so I'm happy about that. Yes, I don't have the other 2 totems, but whatever, bro. I don't give a fuck. In terms of easy gains, yeah, I mean, I guess I could get the other totems, but I'm lazy. Anyways, we recently got our Endless Terror to 22. Super crazy, to be honest with you, to have this item. And this puts us at 3 set pitch, which is Pog. Our Slime Ring, I just fixed it literally last night. I was bored. It used to be 17% all stat with 10% luck, and now I gain 3 additional luck on top of that, so that's nice. If you don't know, Shadower benefits from dex and strength, so getting all stat on Shadower actually isn't that bad. Copium, no, but seriously, it's really not that bad. Like if I were to get this to 33%, it would be just as good. It just makes my stat look lower, So my Sup Ring, 22, 27%. Kana's Treasure, 22. Pink Bean Cup, 60 and 5, waiting for a book. Dominator Pendant, 22, 52 and 6, 30%. Obviously this gets replaced by Source. Source went boom, but it's okay, we'll get another one, Copium. Sup Pendant, 32 and 3, 30%. Weapon, this gets replaced by Genesis, so it's not a bad weapon. Tier 6 attack flame with some all stat and luck, and a decent pot. Belt, 12 and 4, 30%, 22. Hat is -4. I'm not gonna min-max my hat because eventually I'll get a Kalos hat, and that's when I'll min-max for like -4 with stat or whatever. But yeah, right now -4 is perfectly fine. If you don't know, on Shadow, -4 is about equal to, I think, 33 or 30%, somewhere in between. So if you happen to roll like a 33% hat on Shadower, I would consider just keeping it or making a different hat instead. Berserk at 22, 75, 5, and 5. This is about a 140 score, so that's really good. I'm not going to reflame this. 30%. Magic Eye Patch, Mep, 22 stars, 33%, 70 and 5. Kind of a mid flame, but, you know, it's okay. Oh, my iframe top. Okay, never mind. The top, 30%. Really good flame, 64 and 6. 72 strength, kind of unfortunate, but Shatterer does benefit from strength as well, so it's not a big deal. 52, 3, and 5 on this flame, and it's only 24%. But like I mentioned earlier, Shatterer does benefit a lot from all stat, and I'm not trying to min-max my CRA anyways because of the Kalos gear. So my shoe is my best flame, 115 and 5 with strength and dex. This is like a super flame. It's like 167 or something. 30%. 8, 2, and 4 on this flame, 30%, 22. 22 here, 30%. 16 crit, 10 luck. Got pretty lucky with this pot, 22 stars. 27% on the heart. 33% on the cape, 85 and 5. 2 line with boss. And 2 line with IED. So, you know, if there were to make any improvements on my shat, it would be pretty min-max. It would be like fixing a few flames. Like this one's a little bit low. You know, this one's a little bit low, but it gets replaced. This gets replaced. This gets replaced. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that I have to fix. I mean, like I could get these 2 higher as well. It would be pretty min-max. Like I would have to be spending dozens and even hundreds of bill to get something better. Fixing the cubes is definitely something I want to do. Like this 27%, and this, you know, 30%, like, and my shoulder, like that's stuff that I definitely want to do. Same with my heart, but I definitely wouldn't do them off cube sale because it's really, really small gains, and it could cost a lot. So I don't think it's worth right now. And Shatterer benefits from all stat quite a bit, so it's not like I'm missing out on a lot. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my gear. We're pretty much all 22 stars beside my weapon, obviously, but once I get my Genesis weapon, then it's really all 22 stars. So yeah, my gear is in a really good spot. It puts me at right below 55k. I don't have my links on, but it's fine. It's not like the links will give me more stat, but really close to 55k stat. So I'm really happy about that. And then in terms of my familiars, I'm not touching them on this character anymore. Pretty much done. I can't really ask for more than 115% boss. 40, 40, 35. That's like super good. So there's that. In terms of my legion's in a pretty decent spot. I do want to get higher legion eventually. Like I do want to hit 9k eventually, but right now I don't see any reason to do that. There's more important things to do. And you know, I fill out the 3 areas, a bit of luck as well, but ideally I want the attack and luck filled out, but that'll come over time. So that's fine. But yeah, that's pretty much my Shadower. Not really much left to do on this character besides liberate and get an Ozring. Like I said, those are the, you know, the top 2 gains I can make at the moment. But you know, in terms of Ozring, I'm in no rush. I'd rather get a Roar on my Nightwalker first than try to, you know, grind for weapon jump on this for now. Eventually, I do believe that I will min-max this character. I want to. Like, I do want to go for, you know, the full perfect pots, perfect flames, and stuff like that. But I'm in no rush at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, that's my Shadower, so. Oh, actually, I should show my drop gear because I plan to make a separate video in and of itself about drop gear because of how important it is. I've talked to, like, dozens and dozens of people telling them to make drop gear, and they just don't know, like, how impactful it is. So this is my drop gear: event ring with hybrid, treasure John ring hybrid, KT hybrid with all stat, Meester with item drop rate, double drop here, hybrid here, drop, and hybrid with no 3rd line. As a matter of fact, I consider this a special item because there's no 3rd line, yet it's a hybrid, but whatever. All in all, this puts me at 200% drop gear from gear, and 100% Meso obtained. So this is like ideal. Like, you want this to progress. A lot of people ask me, like, oh, how'd you get so many nodes for your boss mules? How'd you get so many droplets, stuff like that? You need good drop gear. Like, good drop gear is incredibly important. A lot of people glance over this in terms of their progression. Like, yeah, it costs a lot. Maybe costing me like 25, 30 bill to get. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't regret doing it at all. Like, it is so impactful to your progression. Same with FAMs. Like, obviously FAMs are a really shit system. Like, they're like really hard to get anything good on FAMs. But if you have max drop, it makes it less bad. So it's still bad, but it's just less bad. So yeah, that's my drop gear. My inventory's a mess, so don't forgive me on that one. I was farming for infinite throwing stars. No, I'm not switching to Night Lord just for my Nightwalker, but whatever. Yeah, my Arcane Force isn't even max yet. It's really close to max. But yeah, I mean, basically what I do on my shad is I just do my weeklies and dailies every day, and that's it. I don't really grind or anything like that. Capping Clovers is on a whole separate different character. I don't do it on my shad. But yeah, happy with my shad's progression. So I wanted to show you guys next my boss mules. So I do cap out on crystals. So what does that mean? That means I sell 180 crystals every single week, because that's the max, and I get around 20 bill a week from bossing. And these are my boss mules. These are my current active boss mules that I actually boss with. I have some that are work in progress, but these are the ones I actually like legit boss with every single week. So my hero is 1, Nightwalker is 2, but this is also my next main. Bowmaster is 3, Buck is 4, Demon Slayer is 5, DB is 6, Cannon Master is 7, Lara is 8, Ho-Young is 9, and Marksman is 10. So these boss mules, these 10, are like fully ready to go, and I boss with. Now there's other characters that I have that I boss with like as well, but they're not like 100% done yet. So for example, my Ark's gear is done, but it's level 216, so it needs like 220, and then I would consider it done. But it still like clears all the bosses. It just needs to be 220, and does it a bit slower than the rest because Arc sucks right now, but that's besides the point. I also boss a bit on my Hayato, my 220 Hayato. Its gear is a little bit subpar compared to the rest of my boss mules, but it could still do up to like CRA perfectly fine. And same with my Adele. So in total, that's 13 characters, and I sell all the crystals every single week. And I consider my boss mules in a really good spot right now. You know, 10 that are completely done, like noted, gear, level 220 and everything, and then 3 that are a little bit subpar, but they still get the job done. I do plan to do my AB and my Wild Hunter at some point, and even probably a Dawn Warrior in the future. So that puts me at 16 boss mules, which is a lot. Like, that's more than the crystal cap. But, you know, I just like making boss mules. But I need more nodes. Like, I'm out of nodes at this point, and they're just waiting on that. So we'll go over some of the boss mules gear, and we'll start from like what like a high tier boss mule looks like, to like my kind of like average, because some of them are obviously stronger than the others. So let's start with my I don't know which one to show. Maybe my DB. Yeah, let's start with the DB. So my DB is like quite a bit stronger than my other ones. Usually on boss mules, I put around 1,000 nodes per boss mule. Some are around 800 nodes, some are around 1,500, like my Demon Slayer, because Demon Slayer sucks in nodes. But it's about 1,000 per boss mule. Now, this is a lot more than what most people could do on boss mules, and I'm not saying put 1,000, but that's just what I did because I managed to farm a lot, like a ton. So, but you can make up for the lack of nodes in other ways, and I'll explain. So usually, like how my boss mules are is they usually have, you know, 3 skills, like 3 of their skill nodes like over level 20, and their boost nodes are around level 20, and then whatever supporting skills. When I say supporting skills, I mean like, you know, Goddess, Last Resort, stuff like that, like around level 10-ish. So that's usually what I keep it in terms of boss mules. And then nodes, gear, they're usually around 12 to 13k, around there. Some are a little bit stronger, but they're usually around this. So it's basically full 17 stars on most gear, besides like, you know, my arcane weapon. I want to show this first because it has an arcane weapon, right? Most I mean, pretty much boss mules never have arcane weapons, but I want to start from like the top and then work my way down. This is one of my stronger ones, right? Has a slime ring, event ring. It's all like 2-line luck, whether it's unique or legendary. Sometimes I got legendary just because I got lucky tearing up, but I went for 2-line unique 17 star on all the gear. So you could see like even horntail pendant, right? And then, you know, I get lucky sometimes where like I could get carried, or like I trade lucid every week. I carry 5 people lucid on my shadower, and we have a little lucid train going on, and we carry each other's mules. And you know, my DB happened to get a drop, and you know, arcane weapons obviously increase your damage a ton in terms of you know, like boss mules and stuff. Yeah, so DB, I do recommend getting a cooldown hat. So I did manage to get a cooldown hat with all stat. But yeah, like everything's 17 star, 2-line. I do recommend getting crit damage on gloves, so getting it to legendary. And I got the Sweetwater Qatar because it has bonus 30 boss and 10 ID built into it. And I got pretty lucky with this pot. And yeah, so my DB does everything up to Lomian. Probably within like 20 to 25 minutes. So it's pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fast. And yeah. So this is like one of my stronger boss mules. I'll go to a lower tier boss mule that most people I'd say can achieve. But yeah, so my DB, my Cannon Master, my Bowmaster, my Nightwalker, my Buck, my Ho-Young, and my Lara are all kind of like where my DB's at, like 12 to 13k stat. My Ho-Young's a little bit more because it was my Hyperburn, and it's like 18k stat because of symbols and stuff. But the gear's about the same. It's all just like 12 to 13k stat. I could do like 20-25 minute Lomian. My Nightwalker in particular is a lot faster because this is going to be my next main, and it's like funded way more. But yeah. One of my lower tier boss mules, but still performs really well, still does Lomian like in about 30 minutes, is my Hero. And if you remember, I still did put in like around 1,000 nodes per boss mule. This one was around 800 nodes. But yeah, I'll go over the gear. So obviously there's no slime ring. Most people can't get slime ring. They can't like trade slime or anything like that. 2-line. This is Abso 2-line. 2-line here. 2-line. Managed to get like some weird 3-line on unique here. 2-line. 1-line. 2-line. 1-line. Crit damage. Tyrant Cape, you don't actually need the last set of Absol. Like you could settle on Tyrant Cape if you're trying to be on a budget, because if you look, Tyrant Cape has bonus 30 attack on it. And if you look at like an Absol at 17, it has around like 26 to 30 attack. So it's very similar to like a 16 star gear on Absol. Obviously it doesn't have the set effect, but it's not bad. Yeah, 1-line here. And this is just 1-line, you know, waiting for the 5, 10, 15 to get to 17. 2-line here, 2-line here. But when I say 2-line on WC, I just mean 2 useful lines, not necessarily 2-line attack. Because 1-line attack with boss or 1-line attack with IED is actually really, really good on boss mules. So there's that. And then my hero's around 8 to 9k stat. So with my hero, I can actually still do like Lomi and everything like that. The biggest thing for Lomian is hitting level 220, to be honest with you. If you hit 220, you do 20% extra final damage on Lomian. So it makes it like so much less miserable. Granted, I do have pretty good nodes on my hero. I got this within like 850 nodes or something. Level 22 on the boost. Max BSB, 24 Sword Illusion, 23 here. Like I said, when you spend around 1,000 nodes, in this case it was around 850 because this class is really good with nodes. You could get around 3 skills almost max, and then your boost nodes in the 20s. And then whatever supporting skills are like, you know, 5 to 10. Now, I mentioned a bit earlier, like how you can make up for the node gap if you don't have a lot of nodes. And that's with gear. So, for example, I don't have the Golux set effect. I got lucky with this drop, right? But I don't have any Golux set effect at all, right? I would definitely recommend, obviously, if you can trade Golux with people, getting the reinforced Golux set. If you could get the reinforced Golux set, it adds so much damage to your mules. It's crazy. Like, it adds so much. And you should get Treasure John Ring on each of your mules. I'm lazy, so I didn't get the Treasure John Ring. But if I were to get a treasure John ring, that's a whole extra like 12 to 15 star item that could be potentialed, and that does give you a decent amount of damage. The reinforced Golux set takes about a month to get, which is half as long as superior set, and the only real difference between it is, you see how on sub Golux it says 4 set equipped on the right, 30 boss, 30 IED. With the reinforced set, it's still 30 boss, but it's only 15 IED, and that's perfectly okay. Like that is okay. It still gives you a ton of attack, ton of boss, and is really, really good gear, and it doesn't take too long to get. So I would highly recommend getting reinforced. I didn't need to get reinforced because I made up that damage with nodes, because the way you want to look at funding boss mules is you want to look at what's your highest like what's the most amount of resources you have, right? So for example, I'm getting out of latch. I hate this music. So for me, I had a ton of nodes, right? I had a ton of nodes because I farmed a lot. So I realized, like, if I could put a ton of nodes into my mules, that means I wouldn't have to put as much gear funding into it because the nodes make up for it, right? Obviously, it's good to have both good gear and good nodes. You'll be super strong. But most people, especially nowadays, because nodes are hard to get, you more than likely you're more like, what's the word? Usable resource is mesos and time versus nodes, right? So you could just do helix every day on your mules, like trade it with somebody. Eventually you'll get the reinforced set, and then you could put the mesos, into your gear, and you'll make up for the lack of nodes. Like, I'd say like a class, if I had only like 300 nodes on this, but I had the reinforced gear and more ring slots, it would probably be the same amount of damage. Literally, it would probably be the same amount of damage versus me putting around 800 nodes into this with no Golux set and less rings. So yeah, I just wanted to like share that, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, how are your nodes so strong? How are your mules so strong even though it's like 8k stat? Like, no, it's because I have nodes. But yeah, most people don't have nodes, so you can make up with it in terms of gear and other ways. Also, a lot of people struggle with IED. I definitely highly recommend getting high Legion for your boss mules, because Legion helps your boss mules so much. Like, so much. It makes up for the IED they don't have, or boss damage they don't have because of set effects, right? Like, I don't have the Golux set effect, so I'm missing IED and boss. But my Legion helps make up for it. The other thing you could do, I don't have it on this character, but you could have familiars that give you IED. So you just have to open up a bunch of common familiars. Even one familiar, I'd recommend getting the second slot. But if you have like 1 or 2 15% IED fams, which you could get from common, it makes a huge difference in terms of your damage. Like, a huge difference. So I'd recommend doing that as well. Again, I didn't really have to do that because I have pretty good nodes on my mules. But yeah, and then my weakest boss mule, I'd say, is like my Adele that I boss with in terms of gear and funding. And that's mostly just because I'm waiting for like a Star Force event, right? Like, I got the Absos. It says 0 stars on it. 15, 15, 15. This is 0 stars, like 12. Like, you know, I do some bosses on this, but it's pretty slow. But once I get the stars going with the next event, like, this should be a completed boss room, because I did get it to 220. It's just missing a bit on gear. The nodes are pretty good on it as well. I put around 900. And yeah. So yeah, that's in terms of my boss mules. So just to summarize, like, you know, my shad's in a pretty good spot. My boss mules are a pretty good spot. I cap out on crystals every week. And then the last thing I want to talk about is what I'm going to be doing moving forward, right? So moving forward, until Kali comes out, which Kali will probably come out in like July-ish this year, I plan to really focus on my Nightwalker. I made a commitment saying on stream that if we hit 1,000 subs, that I would main Nightwalker. I'm in the middle of Oz right now. Weird. Okay, but I guess it's fitting to talk about. So I am serious about that. I'm going to get my Nightwalker to the same point where my Shad is, 275, full 22, liberating, everything like that. And I will do it. And that's what I'm going to be working on, ideally until July. I'm giving myself that much time frame to get it done. Because the way I look at it is like, you know, my Shad hit full 22 in about 6 months. And that was from a fresh account from 0. Now I'm established. I have boss mules. I have Legion done. My main is in a good point. I pretty much have nothing to worry about other than grinding out this Nightwalker, right? So that's what I plan to do. I should get it done even faster than my Shad. And I just want to talk about what I've been doing on the Nightwalker. So the first thing I really invested in was really good drop gear, because again, drop gear really makes your progression. So on my Nightwalker, I have the 200 drop with 100 Mesa. You can see equipment item 200 and then Mesa equipment item 100. So I invested in this super early, like since I was like 230, just so that every single level I do, I'm getting the maximum amount of drops and everything per level, and I'm not missing out on anything. I still don't have a large drop fam. I have a medium drop, but you know, we'll get the large drop eventually, hopefully. So yeah, this is drop, hybrid, double drop, hybrid, double meso, drop, double drop, and drop. So that does give me like the full drop gear that I need. I don't have any damage gear on this actually. I just play this character with full meso drop gear, and I do recommend doing this starting out. Well, like when you're funding a character, I do recommend making meso drop gear first before you make damage gear, because you're gonna be training a lot and you need all the resources you can get. But basically I just do dailies and weeklies on this every single week, and I try to stack items. You know, like I have a couple dominator pendants, belts, earrings. Like I'm just stacking items for big events so that you know, they'll be ready for whenever I have money, and just dump a bunch of mesas on it. You know, CRA spares so I could like get these to 22 eventually, and stuff like that. At the moment I'm in the process of saving 50 Oz boxes. I'm doing it with a couple friends, and we're gonna do a big Oz opening. So that's why I'm in Oz right now, because I do want to get a Roar 4 on my Nightwalker. Roar 4 is like really good on Nightwalker, so I do want to get one. Hopefully we hit, but that's what I'm doing right now. I don't recommend doing this. The only reason I'm doing this is because I already know how to do Oz really fast. I don't have to spend time learning it. And B, I play this game a lot, like a lot. So I have enough time to do Oz and train. But if I could only pick one, I would train. And 3, I'm just weird. Okay, like don't do this. Don't do Oz early on. You should do Oz like when you're at the end game. But yeah, I'm just weird. My plan moving forward with this is I'm gonna train with Super Haste as much as I can. Super Haste is coming literally tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to get this character to 255 as soon as possible, so that I could start, you know, running Black Mage or trading Black Mage, because my Shadow is strong enough to basically trade Black Mage. Like it is that strong at the moment where, you know, I could either like duo it with somebody and trade, or you know, like I have that capability now. So I want to get the liberation process started as fast as possible, and like I said, you know, I want to get it full 22. So a lot of it's just going to take time in terms of gear. Like, you know, I got to wait for more KTs to drop. I got to wait for more slime rings to drop. I got to wait for my arcanes. I managed to buy a glove. And yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of like waiting and doing dailies and saving money. Like that's basically all the progression. But in the meantime, I plan to train this as much as I can. I'm probably going to stay in Lamina until I'm 265. That way I could build my Sacred Force even further, so that I could actually start training Incernium, then push to 275 Incernium. Hopefully we do hit on fams. I have a lot of fams left over from my Shadower, because obviously my Shadower didn't use all the fams it farmed. So hopefully we do hit on this. And yeah, I mean, that's like my Nightwalker. My Nightwalker's nodes are pretty much maxed. They're like level 24, 25. So they're like really close to getting there. I don't plan to max it immediately, because I do want to do a little bit more boss mules first. But yeah, since I do have like 200 drop on this, I do get a decent amount of nodes just from training. So it's not like I have no farmer on my account or any way to get resources, because I did invest in really good drop gear on this character. So my Nightwalker will fund itself and a bunch of other characters in the future. So yeah, that's my time frame with my Nightwalker. Ideally, I want to finish it by July. I'm not going to beat myself up too hard if I don't finish it by July, if I'm not full 22 or anything like that. Like, that's just the goal. But the reason it's until July is because of Kali. The Kali released a new class that's coming out. I do want to main that class Kali. I want to get my Kali to the same point that Do Bunny and Inu Boot are. My Shad and my Nightwalker. I want to also get it to full 22 and Liberate and stuff like that. And that way I'll have 3 characters on my account that are super juiced and super strong. And yeah, I mean, that's my goal, like with the Kali. And the Kali, I don't know how long it'll take, and I don't know what upcoming events are after Kali. So everything could change. Like, what if there's some crazy like double Oz box event that comes like, you know, in September or something like that, right? So then I would have to like change my shift and go do Oz on my Shatterer because it still needs weapon jump, for example. Um, but yeah, I mean that's my objectives right now for this year. Is I want to get my Nightwalker to 275 fully done with gear, start the liberation process. Same with Kali, full 275, full 22, and you know, start the liberation process and everything. I do want to have Roar 4s on all of them. That's like ideally, like I'm gonna do Oz on all of them. So look forward to like a ton of Kali gameplay when it comes out, because that's the class I plan to main when it comes out. I obviously do have to get one of these characters to 280 and 285 eventually, but I'm not gonna do that until they could train in Odium, because training in Hotel Arcus or Burnium right now is 280. Like, it just pales in comparison to Odium, so I'd rather just wait. Maybe if there's some new area, like let's say in the summer KMS announces another area that's level 280, then I would have to train my Shatterer to 280 because I don't want to miss out, right? So we'll see. Like, that's my progression plans for the next 6 months or so till July. But anytime after that, we'll see. I'll probably do another checkpoint because we'll see what the updates are coming. That's generally how I play this game. I kind of base my progression on what the events are. So GMS is kind of cursed and blessed because we have to wait 6 months to get whatever KMS gets, which is the curse. But it's also a blessing because we can plan out ahead 6 months because we know what's coming, right? So yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna be up to, and hopefully you guys look forward to my content. I do appreciate all the support. We just finished a massive subathon, 46 days, and look forward to like a highlights video on that. But yeah, no, I appreciate all the people who watch my YouTube videos, watch my stream, and everything. You guys really do keep me going. And yeah, hopefully this gave you a better idea of what I'm going to be doing moving forward with my content. In terms of my fresh account progression series, obviously I'll be doing other content on the side, like guides and whatnot. But and tier lists, of course. Everybody loves my tier list. Sure, yeah, Copium, they love them. Yeah, I'm talking to myself like a crazy person. But yeah, thank you for watching, and you know, I'll see you next video.